We recently announced our brand new next generation AV and control platform, Cognio. Since we announced it, we've made a lot of progress getting towards that first shipping milestone. So we've actually completed our very first project with Cognio. So we've been able to fully test the platform out in the field. We've also completed our pilot production, which is kind of a behind the scenes look into how these product launches go. Pilot production helps us get our manufacturing processes down, get units to testers so we can really complete a solid testing process. And we're leading up to getting our first shipments out the door here in the next couple weeks. It's been a very lucrative collaboration. We partnered with a very prestigious university, and they're really focused on the learning experience and the students, and the technology just supports that. And so Cognio has been a really great fit for them in their forward-thinking innovations in academic environments. When we set out to design Cognio, we didn't want to just solve problems for existing Symetrix users. We wanted to understand what problems weren't being solved by the industry. And so where we started with that was the notion of centralized processing, having this giant box in an AV closet and then all of its surrounding peripherals, basically paperweights without the giant box. We didn't really see that as the way into the future. Especially as we continue to say, AV and IT are merging, we really wanted to actually take that leap. So with Cognio and with scalability, all the devices run the same firmware. So you don't have to have a box in a closet with devices that don't really add any additional value. They're all adding the same value, and they're working more like a modern IT network infrastructure, which allows the system to gracefully evolve over time without needing to rip and replace when you just need a little bit more processing or a few more Dante channels. And at the end of the day with Cognio, we want you to think about the space first. And every step of the way, we've designed the platform to add more value to the users. The users are the AV consultants, the AV programmers and designers, and again, that end user who's actually going to be in the space. So from a hardware standpoint, and to the scalability point, if the needs of their space has evolved and they need a little bit more processing, instead of adding another black box to a closet or a bigger black box to the closet, you could instead give them a touch panel, which is something they're going to get value out of in the room, and it will give them that extra capabilities that they needed. Now, when it comes to AV consultants, specifiers, and designers, we've made huge workflow improvements in the software that are going to allow them to spend less time on non-value-added activities like connecting wires, spend more time on adding more value to that customer by making better user interfaces, deploying remote monitoring, things like that. So those are some of the other huge challenges that we saw in the industry that nobody was addressing yet, and we really set out to address. Traditional processors and traditional AV products all rely on dedicated chipsets. So you would have a dedicated Dante chip, a dedicated AEC chip, a dedicated FPGA running DSP. This is becoming a really outdated use of technology, not just in the AV industry, but across many technology industries. Most folks are moving now towards general purpose processing. So that's what you'll see in our Cognio next generation products. All of these functions are now happening in software, and that's what really enables not only the smart devices, but the longevity of the platform and making it future ready to evolve over the next decade plus. We can much more easily add in new features and get a rolling cadence of new product releases that will benefit your projects. Nobody likes to spend time feeling frustrated or feeling like they're doing something that really doesn't add value. And so I think the future is exciting because we've relieved a lot of burdens on workflows. We're going to make your systems more resilient by reducing errors. You're going to be designing a lot faster and more effortlessly, more intuitively. It just feels better.